Hey guys, Mr. B XRP and welcome back. Before we get started, let's do a little market update. BTC is at 7,221 this morning. Ethereum's at 128 and XRP is at 0.188, trying to break 19 cents as we speak. Got a couple of tweets this morning from XRP Crypto Wolf that he had sent me, and he's at XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter. You should follow him certainly. There is a story written by The Block Crypto, and here the story was a U.S. congressman introduced a bill to bring regulatory clarity to the crypto space. And essentially it is a cryptocurrency, it says Cryptocurrency Act of 2020 will clarify which federal agencies will regulate cryptocurrencies. Another big take from the story as I read through it was the following. The bill has divided cryptocurrencies into three parts: crypto commodities, cryptocurrencies, and crypto securities. Accordingly, it has proposed a federal crypto regulator for each of these categories to notify the public of any licenses and registrations required. In my opinion, this would help bring clarity to each of these groups on how they may be taxed, but that's just my opinion. But I certainly think that's a big step toward taxation clarity as well. In another tweet that he had sent me, the EU Commission launched two public consultations on cryptocurrency and crypto assets. The EU wants rules to ensure the financial sector is competitive and safe. V. Dombrovskis said, "We know Libra, but there's a whole range of crypto assets based on distributed ledger technology." He, by the way, is the executive vice president of the EU Commission. And the big news of the day was last night at about 7 o'clock, Ripple dropped a Ripple Insights. And I have to tell you that this has to be the boldest release I've ever seen Ripple put out ever. It's not their normal role to come out and be so bullish with predictions like this. And I found the piece incredibly interesting. It's a short read. We need to go through it, and I want to give you my opinion on it. And it's titled 2020, the year of the digital asset. So here we go. Standing on the doorstep of a new year and a new decade, it's hard to believe the first real public engagement with digital assets began only a few short years ago, 2017. Over that year and into the next, speculators and media coverage drove wild fluctuations in interest and price, contributing to the series of both speculator rises and precipitous falls in each. But the digital asset roller coaster ride smoothed out over the course of 2019 as speculation subsided and specialized use case began to emerge. The utility helped demonstrate value in digital assets beyond trading and contributed to increased stability. While skeptics and critics might still view digital assets as a giant game of Jenga, just waiting for a wrong move to send the blocks tumbling down, we here at Ripple see the future of digital assets as more like a vast set of Legos. By carefully placing them together, it's possible to reimagine familiar worlds or create entirely new ones. Looking ahead, we believe 2020 will reveal new technologies and applications for digital assets that can lead to meaningful, tangible change across a wide range of industries. In particular, we expect three major themes to develop in the first year of the new decade that will lead to a more mainstream embrace of digital assets. So number one, it says digital assets underpin consumer financial products. XRP is a digital asset custom designed to facilitate cross-border payments. A number of companies, including MoneyGram and Golance, and applications have endorsed this use case, and we anticipate even more will join the adoption curve over the coming year. But our team expects other digital assets and use cases to find traction in the coming year and decade. Ripple Senior Vice President of Products, Ashish Birla, predicts that mobile wallets will enter the blockchain and crypto industries in a big way. Specifically, he believes that adoption of digital assets and blockchain technology among mobile wallets and super apps like Gojek, Grab, and PayPal will become more mainstream as they look to expand their services to keep up with consumer demand and compete with digital banks. According to Ashish, that adoption will continue expanding to include new credit and loan products. He expects those more mainstream use cases will emerge in developing markets like Kenya, Nigeria, and parts of Latin America where the need is more acute. These applications will be aided by friendlier regulations toward digital assets, which will also make them more attractive to tech companies seeking paths to expansion. Similarly, Ripple's Senior Vice President of Consumer Success, Marcus Treacher, sees international micropayments expanding to facilitate new consumer cases. In particular, he envisions purchase solutions for tourists and travelers that no longer rely on cards or card rails taking root in 2020. Imagine if a Japanese tourist visiting Thailand could buy goods using a mobile app or QR code, triggering an immediate cross-border payment from their Japanese yen account to Thai baht purchase account. If more consumer purchase solutions start leveraging blockchain technology in the same way, the payoff will quite literally be huge. Marcus also predicts that big tech companies will continue to enter the payment space, hastening the growth of micro and wallet payments, supporting immediate low-value payment flows. The expansion of micropayments beyond traditional messaging apps like Telegram and Line to deep-pocketed enterprises should create a resulting surge of developers flocking to digital assets. Secondly, it says institutional adoption of digital assets accelerates. For digital assets and associated applications to have long-term staying power, institutional players must embrace technology. We anticipate that just a wave of institutional adoption will begin in 2020 with more traditional firms deploying digital assets and blockchain-based solutions. Brianne Madigan, our head of global institutional markets, says this will be enabled by trusted custody brands such as State Street or Bank of New York becoming involved in digital assets. And she's quoted here, "The presence of recognized players will increase institutional confidence in the space and pave the way for greater institutional adoption next year," explains Brianne. Now here's what Brad had to say. CEO Brad Garlinghouse is even bolder, predicting that half of the top 20 biggest banks in the world will actively hold and trade digital assets in 2020. He is also one of many on the team that believes fiat currencies will go digital next year. While Senior Vice President of Spring, Ethan Beard, expects at least one central bank to launch tokenized representation of their fiat in 2020, Brad forecasts at least one non-G20 currency like the Argentine pesos or similar will become fully digitalized within the next year. And it's here. The crypto industry evolves to keep pace. This expanded adoption of digital currency by mainstream and national institutions will also have an impact on the industry supporting the technology. Specifically, Ashish and Brianne both expect it to produce a wave of consolidation among crypto exchanges. For his part, Ashish says the growing cost of keeping up with security, compliance, and technology will be more than the smaller exchanges can handle. Consolidation will enable companies to grow from regional and global players to better compete with bigger banks or bigger brands like Binance that have already begun acquiring several other exchanges. Brianne sees consolidation being driven more by the interest in digital assets and blockchain from institutional brands. She predicts an increased focus on true volumes, subdued retail interest in exchanges, and the appearance of more institutional grade exchanges will combine to spark a wave of consolidation as companies compete to add volume and customers. Beyond exchanges, Brad expects to see consolidation amongst crypto companies themselves. He boiled it down to a simple numbers game. The world doesn't need 2,000 plus digital assets. While I don't think there will be one coin to rule them all, it's clear that if a digital asset doesn't have a proven use case beyond speculation, it's not going to survive. This year saw the start of a shuttering of number of crypto companies that Brad expects to continue in 2020. And as of me reading this, I think there's literally 5,000 different projects on CoinMarketCap. And then it goes on to say, a crypto pump, ? These three evolving trends will together likely fuel what Brienne calls the next major pump for digital asset market. She predicts that growing institutional comfort level with digital asset use cases, along with increased regulatory clarity in the United States and the next Bitcoin halving in May of 2020, will all lead to the next large adoption cycle. That boost could also be aided by what Ethan terms a flight to crypto as a safer asset class in a face of potential global economic slowdown. And lest anyone think we forgot about Libra, 'tis not true. Multiple team members chimed in to predict that Libra will neither launch nor be canceled in 2020. They expect that increased regulatory scrutiny, privacy concerns, and the defection of key association members will combine to at least temporarily stall Facebook's plans for the digital asset. Ultimately, the coming year and decade will see digital assets and blockchain continue to emerge as core underpinnings of the world's financial future. Today's first movers will have an enormous role to play in delivering that change for tomorrow. We are excited to watch it unfold. End of the piece. Wow, that is a lot coming from Ripple. That statement coming from the most conservatively run company in digital assets, I think is very, very strong. Them putting out their opinions like that, and I think it's certainly very welcome, especially where we're at right now in the market. CEO Brad Garlinghouse is predicting that the top half of the top 20 banks in the world will actively hold and trade digital assets in 2020. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, that is a huge statement, and certainly he's basing that on the knowledge that he has, obviously, in working with these banks. So we have to assume it's going to be true. Can you just imagine which digital assets they plan to hold? I know I can. And it also said that Brad is one of the many team members that believes that fiat currencies will go digital next year. I've been expecting to see fiats go digital, but in the future, but I never imagined it would happen by 2020. I thought 2020 would be way too soon, but it sounds like it's something we're going to start to see. This is really happening, guys. This is not just talk. This is going down. There's only one word I can use to explain this piece, and I would say it's bullish. I mean, Ripple is calling for a bullish 2020, not just for Ripple and XRP, but for digital assets. I think they're calling for a very, very bullish year, and certainly going to be a cleansing year. So I find that very, very interesting and exciting. So this brings me to my question of the day. Why do you think Ripple just dropped this statement? Give me your opinion in the comments below. I want to hear what you're thinking. Also, last night we had our first live stream in our Patreon group. It went amazing. Our group is less than 2 weeks old. We're nearly at 600 members, and we're growing every day. If you're looking for additional positive digital asset interaction and content, please check out our group in the description of this video. And I thank everybody who's joined so far. Also, remember, guys, control your attitude, control your life. Okay. Also, I will be upgrading my tech here pretty soon, so we can move away from the still pictures on the screen. So bear with me here, guys, while I get up and running. And lastly, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a crypto expert, and I'm not a banker. These are my opinions only. Do not make any financial decisions based on anything I say. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Please like and subscribe and hit the notifications button and share with anybody who you think might do the same. Thank you all and have a fantastic day.